We're going to start this project out by creating Gantt charts for your team. This is going to really organize your project, and this is something that's used in industry too. There's a bunch of different ways to format this, and you can see examples by just Googling it online. I've got an example spreadsheet set up for you to use. To start out, you're going to just go through everybody in your team and decide what overall general function they would be best at. And I've put examples of different functions that are commonly seen on engineering projects. You might have to change this around a little bit for your specific project, just depending on what you're going to need, depending on what you're building. So go through a personality test, look at what resources everybody has, and make sure you have the right person at the right job function. That's one of the really key elements in making a good, productive engineering team. The timeline you're creating right now, think of it as a contract between you and the rest of the people in your team. Chances are you're going to see some of the other people from class later on in life in your career. You're all going into similar engineering fields. A lot of you are probably going to stay in Houston for jobs. So you're starting to create your professional portfolio and your reputation. You'll remember who you went to class with, what kind of a student they were. Networking is an important part of getting jobs, and that's starting right here, right now. So take this project seriously. Treat the other people in your team as if you were actually professionally working together, because in the future, you might end up working together. Complete your tasks quickly and communicate effectively with the other people in your group. You need to listen to everybody else and respond to them. Get in the habit of answering emails as soon as you receive them. You don't have to make a huge essay to answer somebody's email. A quick, "I read this, thanks for your thoughts, I'll get back to you." Sometimes that's all that needed, but send something so that they know you read it and you're there and they're not just talking into a void. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how much work you do. If you're not answering the phone and answering emails, everyone's going to be frustrated with you and you're not going to get credit for any of the work that you do. Good organization with specific responsibilities make happy teams. On this timeline, you are going to identify each little individual task. Break it up into small bite-sized pieces so that each part of the project has a time that it needs to be completed by, and also a person who is going to be responsible for making sure that task is completed. I don't want to see everyone written next to a task. Maybe everybody is working on a specific task, but you still need a name of a person who's going to be in charge of that task. If nobody's in charge of it, that's when arguments start going on and nobody ends up doing it. So put a name next to every task and modify this Excel spreadsheet for your specific project. Think through what kind of materials you need, what kind of a schedule you need. Give yourself a safety factor too for that timeline. Don't push everything to the very edge. You're going to need time to go through rough drafts. Building things always takes longer than you originally think it does. Good in theory versus good in practice. And if you've ever physically built something, you know it's never as simple as you think it should be. So try and get things done as quickly and as early on as you can. Fill in the color of the cell underneath the week it needs to be completed by. Choose a color scheme. Red is a good color to highlight the critical paths and the critical tasks. These are things that have to be done, or it's going to hold everybody else in your team up. Highlight milestones, gateways, and checkpoints. Did you really choose the correct solution? Is this really going to work? Optimize, modify, fine-tune. Do you need to change the path you're on? You better make those big changes quickly and early on, because the longer you're in it, the harder it's going to be to change it. Project development is a race, and communication is the key to winning that race. Store your timeline and decision table on the cloud where everybody can edit and have access to it. Have your team's project manager set permissions and create the original documents for everybody to access. Start with an unformatted blank sheet or document and copy and paste what's included in the D2L to get you started. There's a few formatting features and functions that are not available in the online spreadsheets. So before you turn it in, just copy it back into Excel and get everything formatted with the full range of tools that you have in the normal program. Divide, conquer, and have some fun working with the other people in your team. Think about what job path you should pursue too. What fits your personality? Are you a manager? Are you a researcher? Are you a tester? What do you enjoy? What classes should you be taking to fine-tune the career you want? Keep me in the loop. Let me know how your project is progressing.